So you have a finished manuscript, but no publisher is going to publish your work. You pretty much get a thanks but no thanks letter in the mail. Well, I'm here to tell you why you keep getting rejected, and it's not what you think. Reasons 4 and 5 are going to surprise you, and if you want to know what those are, stay tuned. Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to a Writer's Corner. My name is Lisa, and I am a working mom of 2. I was also a teacher for almost a decade before making the switch to office work so that I could be a mom and have a peace of mind. I am also an aspiring writer, more so a frustrated writer, a blogger, and a content creator here on YouTube. It's a lot to juggle, I know, and that's why I created this space. A Writer's Corner is for you and me to learn and write together as we juggle work, kids, and life overall. In today's video, we're going to be discussing rejection in the publishing world. Now, I've sent a few stories into writing competitions and I just get a thank you letter. I've never made it to the top. And you may have gone even further. You may have sent query letters to agents, editors, and like me, you just get a thanks for your interest letter. I'm here to give you 4 reasons as to why you and I cannot get any piece of work published. 1. No writing background. I went to college to learn how to teach. I also did 1 year of child psychology. My background is in teaching and child psychology and development. And when you look at my resume, I have years upon years of teaching and library work. I don't have a background in writing. The most educational writing I've done is 1 creative writing class in high school, along with 1 fiction writing class in college, and children's literature if you consider that. I didn't go to school for writing. I didn't spend years working on different types of writing, critiquing others' works, nor reading in my areas of interest, i.e. paranormal, history, and romance. If you compare that to someone who has a writing degree, not that you need one, their resume looks better than mine. Even an editor for a magazine has a better looking resume than mine because they work in that industry. And you may be in the same boat as me. So what does that mean for you and me? Because we are clearly at a disadvantage. We need to start writing and publishing ourselves. We need to start building our writing background. And this could be creating blogs, writing magazine articles, writing tour guide books, collaborating with other bloggers, even writing review articles. We need to write anything that can be placed in front of an audience. 2. No references or connections. In the writing world, that is. Did you know that working in the writing world is exactly like working for any other big company? No big company, like a big publisher, is going to publish the work of a small writer like you and me. However, there is a leeway. If we go back to the company analogy, you can get a job if you already know somebody in that company. In other words, if you have a reference, the hiring team will at least look at your resume. In this case, your manuscript. So what does that mean for you and me? We need contacts. We need to reach out to our writing friends and hold on to them dearly. They could be our writing accountability friend, our book club buddy, as well as a local author. These people may just be our ticket to finally getting published. 3. No money. There was a time when you could start anything with little to no money. For instance, years ago, you could buy several properties and rent them out as your business. Today, however, the housing market is ridiculous. You can't even buy a house for yourself. I mean, I rent. When someone tells you you don't need money to start a business, well, writing is a business. Remind them that in this day and age, you need more than dual income to survive. Inflation is real. I can't even buy pork belly because it costs about $50 for 5 lubs. If we take this to the writing world, you need money to publish. The average cost of publishing is about $2 to $4 grand. Now, there are situations where an author can spend $0, but you also have the other end of it where an author can spend up to $10K or more just to publish. And if you ever look into publishing, even self-publishing, it can be costly. And that doesn't even include traveling and advertising. So what does that mean for you and me? We need to start looking at other routes that are not going to cost us an arm and a leg just to publish. For instance, we could create digital products such as ebooks, and we can sell through Etsy, Teachers Pay Teachers, and other sites like that. Amazon also has their KDP program that you could join in order to publish your own works. Or put your writing on your blogs and other sites such as that, like if you write fan fiction, and gain your readership in that way. Take advantage of these other sources in order to distribute your work and get them published without it costing you a ton of money, if even. And before I continue with the list, comment below, what has been your struggle when it comes to getting published? Comment below so that we can share all our struggles as a community. Now back to the list. 4, no audience. Now this one really surprised me, but it makes sense if you really think about it. Because a big publisher is busy working with their already established writers, they don't have time for small writers like you and me. And why? Well, because we cannot guarantee them a profit. A publishing company, along with the writer, puts in money to get the item published as well as distributed. And their hope is to get more money in return for this overall process. That's called a profit. Sadly, many companies base this on whether or not we as writers have an already established audience. There's a better chance that both parties are going to profit because there is already an audience waiting for the writer's works. In other words, if you have a big following on your blog, chances of your readers buying your novel is pretty high. So a company is going to then publish your work. But if you have no readership or following like me, you get rejection letters. So what does that mean for you and me? We need to start building an audience. This audience can be our writing accountability group, our reading club, viewers here on YouTube and our blogs, and so on. Now, is that a long game? You bet. But I've been doing research for many years up to this point, and I'm finally giving in to the research. And so should you. And 5, no story. I know what you're thinking, but Lisa, I do have stories. I have tons of them. Well, me too. But that's not what I mean here. Story here means plot. You don't have a good flowing plot from the beginning to the end. Sure, you have character wakes up on page 1 and on the final page, character is finally satisfied with their life or they die. However, that's not a story. Specific things need to happen in your story. Plot points in your story need to happen in order for your story to continue and to flow. Think about the piece of writing you're currently working on. What conflict happens that forces your character to get out of their comfort zone? Which other characters do they interact with along their journey? And of course, what climatic event happens that changes your character forever? These plot points and more need to occur in order for you to have a story. There's also one more piece of vital information that you need in your story, and I've already made a video on that, so I'll link that down below for you to view. Overall, this means you and I need to go back to the drawing board and view the outlines to create our story. We need to fill in specific events or plots and make some changes. Only once we've filled in these plot points do we have a story worth writing, completing, and publishing. To recap it all, if you're struggling to publish or get noticed by a publisher, you may be dealing with one of these 4 reasons. Reconsider what you can do to up your chances of getting your work out into the world. And I wish you all the best. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to watch my other videos to give yourself some tips and tricks on how to get published or just to keep your creative juices flowing. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. They could be our writing accountability friend. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to watch my other videos to give yourself some writing tips and be sure to watch my other videos to give yourself some tips and tricks on how to get published or just to keep your creative juices flowing. When it comes to writing, how do you decide what to write about? It's a completely scary and daunting task, I know. Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to A Writer's Corner. My name is Lisa, and I am a working mom with 2 kids. I was a teacher for almost a decade before making the switch to office work so that I could be a mom and have a peace of mind. I am also an aspiring writer, more so a frustrated writer, a blogger, and a content creator here on YouTube. It's a lot to juggle, I know, and that's why I created A Writer's Corner. It's a space for you and me to learn and write together as we juggle work, kids, and this overall thing called life. When it comes to writing, how do you decide what to write about? It's a completely scary and daunting task, I know. This could be writing a school paper, a speech, a script, a novel, the list goes on. However, it never dawned on me just how scary this could be for someone who doesn't like to write. I personally enjoy writing, so hence I can script videos and I blog. But I was talking to my younger sister about writing, and it dawned on me that, well, she doesn't like to write, and I even have coworkers who don't enjoy writing. And this had me thinking, why does writing come easily for me? What do I do that makes writing easy for me? And how can I teach it to such people as my sister, my coworkers, and someone such as yourself who struggles with writing? Here are my 5 tips to help you decide what to write about. 1. Generate ideas of interest. Always, always, always write about what interests you. Don't choose topics that bore you, as this will also bore your reader. And then this whole overall task of writing is going to feel more like a chore than a fun activity. One thing I enjoyed about English class in high school, and yes, I'm a nerd, was the freedom and flexibility to choose whatever topics I liked on the topic of writing. Say it was writing a persuasive letter. Well, the topics were pretty much open-ended. It could be the same for you. For example, if you're into the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling, write a letter to your audience convincing them why they should read the series. If you're into painting, write about the effects of creating art and how this could benefit your reader. If you're into Pokemon cards, convince your readers why they should choose these decks of cards over other decks, such as Magic. And if you're not into these examples, that's okay. Come up with your own list that interests you. 2. Get rid of not so interesting topics. For yourself, that is. As much as we say we like everything when it comes to a specific topic of ours, that's not necessarily true. That's like saying I like all the Harry Potter books. Really, my personal favorite is Azkaban, book 3. And as for Phoenix, well, that was like my least favorite because Harry was just hormonal and angry all the time. That means if I were to use this in my writing and trying to convince somebody why they should read Harry Potter, I can actually eliminate books, 1 through 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I could just write about Azkaban. So when it comes to your writing, instead of thinking about writing everything, break it down to the more interesting topics, if not specific ones, according to you. 3. Conduct research. The term research here means many things. For instance, it could be experimenting, exploring, and investigating. However, before you start conducting a science lab or putting together a YouTube tutorial, think free and easy. One way to start conducting your own research is by reading about your topics of interest. You can go to the nearest local library or search up articles online. If reading is not your best friend, as reading and writing go hand in hand, then watch videos or listen to podcasts. The world of technology has made research so much easier for those of us who need information. We can actually obtain information on our smartphones and on TV. You can watch videos on your specific topic of choice through YouTube or go to your local library and check out videos. Same goes with podcasts and so forth. I personally enjoy YouTube and using Google, so those would be my go-tos when I conduct my own research. Before I continue with this list, I want to know down below in the comment box what has helped you generate ideas so that you can finish a piece of writing. Thanks for your comment. Let's move on. 4. Ask for help. If all else fails, ask for help. This could be a friend, a family member, even a teacher or a mentor. And if you have a therapist, ask your therapist. Personally, I have a hard time asking for help. However, when I'm struggling, that's when I know that I need to start asking for help. My friends and family and peers don't know that I need help unless I tell them. Same goes with you. Consider who you can ask for support from. Who is part of your trusted support group? And get the help you need from them. And 5, have someone else write for you. You didn't hear from me. Ever wonder why there are ghostwriters? Because the folks who need a written project done either don't have the time or they don't have the skills. And you're probably in the same boat. I suggest you ask a friend or family member who enjoys writing. And if you have the money, hire someone to do it for you. Just be sure to have an idea of what you want to write about and discuss this with your writer. Make notes and sketches together and be part of the whole writing process the whole time. This does not mean that you get to play video games or binge watch a TV show while they do the writing project for you. No, keep communication open, whether it be tossing ideas back and forth or editing in the writing process. Remember, this is your writing. If the writer does a poor job at it, you get the consequences, not them. I've personally helped family members write papers, but it's still their ideas that I'm putting down onto paper. And when they get the A's on their papers, I take the credit. To conclude here, if you have a writing deadline to meet, there are 5 things you can do in order to meet the deadline. In other words, don't go it alone and don't not do the writing. Instead, use these 5 tips to help you get started, and good luck. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to click like and subscribe so that you get more videos like this in the future. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. And what can I do? Wait. If you're into painting, write about what effects of creating. So you want to be a writer. You want to publish a book or 2 and see those on bookshelves, library shelves, and digital stores. But you don't know how to get there, or maybe you've tried and failed. Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to A Writer's Corner. My name is Lisa, and I am a mom of 2 who made the switch from teaching to library work. I'm also a blogger and an aspiring writer. I'm also passionate about writing and personal growth, so that's what I use this channel for. Enough about me, let's move on to today's topic. Today's topic is about 7 writing mistakes to avoid if you want to become a writer. So you want to be a writer. You want to publish a book or 2 and see those on bookshelves, library shelves, and digital stores. You want to know that your writing has helped many people overcome life's challenges, but you don't know how to get there, or maybe you've tried and failed. Me too. I'm a mom of 2 who went from teaching to library work. I don't have a lot of free time, although I do have more free time now than I did teaching. However, I'm not using my time wisely. My goals and aspirations have always been to be a full-time writer in the realm of fiction. This has been my lifelong dream since middle school. However, fast forward many years and, well, I became a teacher instead. I taught for almost a decade before making the switch to library work. And although I am writing, my name's not plastered where I want it to be, on the cover of a fictional novel. My name is on lesson plans, extra resources, other documents, blog posts, anything but fiction. And let me tell you, I'm doing it all wrong. So let's go over the things not to do if you want to become a writer. In other words, don't make my same mistakes. 1. Don't take advice from non-writers. There are many people out there who love to give advice, from productivity to marriage to other areas. They can be experts in the field as well as people who just want to be seen as knowledgeable, but they don't preach what they teach. So it's up to you to decipher the experts from the fakers. Now, the fakers are not going to encourage you to pursue this creative route because they don't know where to steer you, or they really don't want you to accomplish this goal and actually become better than them. They'll discourage you from writing or pursuing your goal, and this is going to hurt. Instead, take advice from those who actually enjoy writing. Writing is either their hobby or their career. Listen to the writers who actually want to help people. Read their books, watch their videos, take their courses, take their advice, and don't give up. 2. Don't take writing classes that cost money. Again, there are tons of people who love to give advice, and they'll give it to you in the form of a course or two. And these courses may cost money. Now, if you don't have the money because finances are either tight or you have a family like me, putting money into a writing class may not be in your budget. Instead, look for free courses, such as those on YouTube or through your local library. LinkedIn Learning also provides courses on writing, and personally, I have access to those through my public library account. Also read books on writing. Books are more affordable than courses, and they are easily accessible through your local library as well. In addition, I also don't recommend taking courses that cost money because you don't know what course or instructor works for you. Instead, look around for free material. And once you find the instructor whose method of teaching works for you, then you can start taking their master classes. 3. Don't pursue a writing degree. Obtaining a higher education does not guarantee that you're going to find a job after graduation. Just because you went to school to gain a writing degree doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to land a big writing gig or get a publishing contract. Like all of us, you start at the bottom of any company, doing something you may not enjoy for several years. And personally, I started my teaching career in childcare. The pay was low, the days were long, and it was not my cup of tea. But I did it to build up my resume. Instead of a writing degree, pursue another route. It could even be another degree. Many authors advise don't quit your day job, and that's because writing may not sustain your living. While working your day job, you can pursue writing on the side. And to do this, you don't need a college degree. I personally have a degree in elementary education because I love kids. However, the teaching was killing me both mentally and physically, so I had to quit. 4. Don't join accountability groups. Accountability groups have a great purpose, but they take time and energy. If you work full-time or have a family to tend to afterwards, the last thing you want to do is jump back into your car or join a Zoom call. Some groups are not nearby and their timing may not also be ideal for you. Instead, set aside some time that works for you. Maybe you only get a 15-minute break at work. Use this window. Or get up 15 to 30 minutes early and use that time to write. And if you can, because you have kids, have a babysitter or your partner watch the kids so that you can have time to write. Before I continue, let me know in the comment box, what are you doing to pursue or advance your writing career? 5. Don't write about topics of disinterest. Freelancer Meg Dowell put it simply when she wrote, "When you write about what you're interested in, you're more productive, you might find it easier to focus, and you'll just be happier overall." Think about your school days. Assignments and essays were more enjoyable when you get to choose the topics, and they were a bore when you had to stick to specific topics or restrictions. Same goes with your writing. Choose topics of interest. If you like historical romance, write it. And if you like horror, go for it. Being the boss of your writing is going to be a lot more enjoyable. Plus, you'll still have steam for writing even when you don't feel like it. 6. Don't lounge around and expect recognition. It's easy to sit around the house and play on our phones or binge watch the latest TV sitcom. It's hard to get up and go to work, and it's even harder trying to start a writing career out of thin air. However, as an aspiring writer who is not making their writing public, you're not going to gain recognition nor a readership if you do that. Start writing and posting your writing somewhere. Your writing could be blog posts, magazine articles, review articles, any place that has your name attached to it. Doing this will give you writing accountability, improve your writing, and start building an audience for you. To take this one step further, start script writing. Script write and start creating video content in order to draw an audience towards yourself. Use this opportunity to start advertising yourself and your skills. The crowd who enjoys your writing, your content, and your personality will come, but you can't expect it to come while you're lounging around in your comfort zone. And 7, don't write outside of your preferred genre. If you want to pursue, say, a fiction writing career, stick to the genre of fiction or whatever genre you prefer. In other words, if you have a piece of writing you're working on, continue to work on it. If you delve into another realm, say nonfiction, it may be hard to turn the ship around, and then you'll find yourself writing about topics that eventually fall flat. In short, stick to what you have and what you enjoy writing. That way, when times get tough and you don't feel like writing, you'll still be able to ride the waves and get that writing flowing. Not to mention, it's also fun to go back and reread what you've written. To conclude, if you are an aspiring writer like myself, you may not know where to start, or you may have given writing a try and failed. I have failed in many areas too, and this video is to inform you what not to do if you want to become a writer. In other words, don't make my same mistakes. Instead, take the advice I've given and keep writing. Your writing will continue to improve and your readership will soon come. Becoming a full-time writer takes perseverance. You got this. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to watch my other videos and I'll see you soon. Bye.